Hi, Roy. Thank you for joining me on the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah. So, unfortunately, your band, The Shed Project, played the last gig on Saturday night. How did it go?
It was amazing. Up there with one of the best ones we've done. Amazing crowd. Just a brilliant send off. Perfect. Gutted, but perfect.
Um,
Um, yeah, really mixed emotions. I felt like I'd split with my missus Saturday morning when I woke up. It's mad. It's just a mad feeling. But it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Still buzzing.
well, it was in April that you announced that the band was splitting. What was the reason behind that?
Um, we've had a lot of we've had a lot of success and we've done it on our own, you know what I mean? We've done everything on our own terms. Um, Everything has been done by us. We've funded it, we've done this, we've done that. And we thought this year would be the time to get on the festivals and things like that. And it's just getting knocked back after knocked back after knocked back, you know what I mean? And even like being played on certain radio stations and being recognised by certain promoters. So it just took its toll a bit, really. And John, the founder member, John on Ribbon, he told us he was leaving. So I just couldn't, me being the other founder member, I just couldn't go on as a Shed project without him. It just wouldn't feel right. It'd be like the Roses going on without John Squire, if you know what I mean, and or the Oasis going on without Liam or Noel. It's just you know. So yeah, that was the reason.
Yeah, a few different factors contributed to it.
But yeah, like I say, it's just the business in general at the moment. It's just so hard for bands to sell to, especially when you've got full time jobs and kids and you've got lives. You know what I mean? It's just so hard, and it's just getting with the cost of living crisis and all that. It's just getting harder and harder to self promote yourself and get out there and sell tickets and stuff like that. We've been very lucky. You know what I mean? We've sold out nearly every single gig we've done. But yeah, it's just getting harder and harder and harder. Um, and I think with us, I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if I don't know if it's because we've done it ourselves and we know the score, if you know what I mean. No one can pull our pants down, if you know what I mean. So I don't know. It's just like, it's just so bloody hard, mate. I feel sorry for a lot of young bands these days, the kids, you know what I mean? We only did it for a laugh at the start, and then people got on us, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it does. We always said when it starts becoming a chore, we'll wrap it up. And over the last few months, unfortunately, it has been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, sad. It's sad because we've done really well in 4.5 years. We've achieved loads. You know what I mean? I played venues where I've seen some of my heroes. You know what I mean? Like Manchester Academy and the Water Rats in London and Glasgow and some of them venues, the Jacaranda and just iconic venues and where I've seen some of my heroes and then I've played them, I've headlined them uh fingers myself, you know. So yeah, I'm buzzing for what we've achieved in that way.
It is a shame though that the music business is like instead of helping bands, bands are quitting because of it. And it is a shame that we're missing out on good music.
I think the venues should do a lot more. The smaller venues, because they're the one who they're crying out to help them. You know, these small venues, and in my opinion, it's a wonder that a lot of these venues are shutting down because they don't do any promotion. A lot of them who we work with, they don't do any promotion for the smaller bands. So if you're playing the venue, it would help them to promote the acts who are on. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think they could do a lot more the venues,
What?
especially with the smaller ones.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, do you think as well, because you're a working class band, and you sing about like working class problems, it's a bit tougher for you.
It could be, yeah, because people don't want to talk about them things. They don't want to sing about them things. You know what I mean? I'm nearly 48. You know what I mean? And I've lived a bit of a mad life, and I just think about what I've seen, what I've done. You know what I mean? And yeah, I do. I think a lot of young bands or new bands, they call it beige, don't they? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of bands. It's like Will said in Marseille. We've been compared to the Roses, the Mondays, you know what I mean, the Charlatans and all that. And it's like Will said from Marseille, it's better than sounding like a thousand other bands out there who all sound the same. But it's them bands who are getting the recognition, and it is mind-boggling. You know what I mean? And it's frightening how many bands are wrapping up because of the lack of opportunities. I think Glastonbury this weekend has just proved
The lineup was
it's
shocking
shocking.
on it.
It's shite. It's absolute shite half of it. I know a lot of it's ticking boxes. I'm not afraid to say that. You know what I mean? And but when you see the bands, even in the local scene, in bands like Skylights, bands like the Heavy North, and Senses, and just some amazing stuff out there. Marseille, you know, give these kids a chance, get them on, and I think that you'll see one or two like the K's are coming through now. You know what I mean? But they've grafted the balls off, and it's good to see them coming through. But there's not many who come through and start playing big stages, which we've seen. Probably the Laphams we've seen, haven't we? And
Yeah.
the K's, the Snots. There should be 20, 30 bands a year coming through, not just one or two. You know what I mean? And that's down to the industry as a whole. Um, because if you're not in with certain people and promoters, you're getting nowhere. It's simple as. Or you've got secret backing. You know what I mean? Um, that's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, you look at the charts now as well. Most of it is just pop music that, like, just generated pop music, and the songs aren't about anything other. It's just like,
Nah, nah. Like I say, I'm not. I'll sing about anything if I see it and I believe in it. I'll either sing about it or I'll give my opinion on it. You know what I mean? And I just think there's no bollocks in music anymore. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. It's just contrived, isn't it? Most of it.
yeah,
Um, you've got Idols. You know they played a list of Idols and Fontaines were probably the best this week at Glastonbury. And two Fontaines and Idols are probably two of the best bands in the country right now. You know what I mean? Idols have got a lot to say. But there isn't many who've got things. You know, I think a lot more artists should be addressing the social problems of the working class and things like that. You know what I mean? Because we're all going through it. Every single one of us is going through it. And we're all skinned, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're grafting our balls off and we're still skinned at the end of the week. So, but like I say, I've got time for lots of music and with our journey as well, I've shared other bands' journeys on Twitter and things like that. You know what I mean? And even when I don't like it, I'll still share it to just give someone a leg and a wing. You know what I mean? And you get a lot of bands who want a lift but won't help other bands and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bit of a dog industry, really. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
I saw a video a few months ago, actually. I can't remember the name of the band, but a member of the band were on the phone to a record label, and he said, the record label guy said, "Oh, we like your music. We've seen you live a few times, and we like what we hear, but you haven't got this many amount of followers on Instagram." So they turned the band
yeah.
down, and that's the
It's
way.
like festivals. Yeah, it's like the festivals. All they'll do is look at someone on Spotify and see how many million listeners they've got, and it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? And it's funny how a band can have a million listeners on Spotify but can't sell 120 tickets for a gig. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
madness. But the promoters are too lazy and to check these bands out like they used to do in the old school. You'd have pluggers, A&R men, you know what I mean? Go watching bands and women every single week, you know what I mean? Out there in Camden, in Manchester, and I don't think you get that anymore. It's just too easy now, isn't it? You know what I mean? Oh, he's got a million followers. Let's get him on a festival, and a lot of it's who you know as well. You know what I mean? I know a lot of heads in the industry and stuff like that, but they won't give me a lift. And I'm quite proud of that. That we haven't had a leg in a wing. You know what I mean? We've done everything ourselves.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm quite proud of that because I think when a band gets signed, and I think the label try to water it down. You know what I mean? And say if a band, if a, we got signed, it wouldn't shut me up. You know what I mean? They'd probably try, but it, you know, I am what I am, and I stick up for what I believe in. You know what I mean? If I'm wrong, I'll always put my hands up. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just try to write about what I see and what's going on in the world. Um, Maybe it might be my downfall. You know what I mean? But I'm not bothered.
no, like you say, it's the subjects. Like that's what I was going to say. Actually, when you announced you were splitting, a lot of people were gutted, and there were people commenting like, "Oh, your lyrics resonate with me, and it got me through tough times." And
Yeah,
when you touch on those subjects, it does like resonate with people.
yeah. Well, we in the early in 2020, I think it was November. I wrote a song about my mum having cancer and my brother being a heroin addict at the same time. It's called Bedtime. So we teamed up with a local mental health charity called Wise Up from Bolton and released it and got their word out. You know what I mean? And people actually rang Wise Up on the back of it and you know donated money to them and stuff like that. So it's unbelievable when things like that happen. It's a powerful thing in it, music.
Yeah,
Um, and I've got the blues. What with our last single this year, I had countless messages of saying, "Wow, you know, your lyrics resonate." So yeah, that I'm quite proud of that. You know, what I mean, that's charts and all that bollocks. If I'd rather have somebody DM me and say your lyrics have helped me out or whatever than any other success. So yeah, I'm glad that. I'm really glad about that.
yeah, definitely. Just to give people a history of the band, how did the band start?
A quick one. I've never been in a band. Like I say, I've always thought about being in bands. Obviously, I grew up on rap music. Uh, that was my first love, rap music. Watching Breakdance the movie in 1984. That put me into rap. And then I was in my mate's bedroom in 1988, and Elephant Stone had just been released by the Stone Roses. And he played it with me mate on 12 inch, and that was it. I was hooked. He did me a tape, got me into guitar music, started going to gigs, stuff like that. So it was around 2012. A couple of my mates, John, who's in the band, who started the Shed project with me, he got together with a couple of our mates, and they were rehearsing in an attic, so they called themselves the Attics. And they needed a bass player, so I'd never picked an instrument up in my life, so I said I'll have a go at it, like. So I just taught myself, and then we did a little few. We're just doing cover versions, you know, just having a laugh. But it just sparked something in my head to start writing. I'd always thought about it, never even tried writing anything down. Excuse me. It was always stored in my head, and it just inspired me to start writing then. And then we did that for a few years, and then me and John had his shed. We made it into a bit of a studio. That would have been about 2018. And then we just had these demos. He was sending me these. He had a battered out Strat, and he was working nights an old mill, and he'd just send them me on WhatsApp these tunes, and I thought I could put lyrics to that. I could put lyrics to that. So he kept sending them there, and then suddenly we had like 12 acoustic demos in his shed, and then we met Tim, who's on bass. We knew Tim had been in bands in early '90s, like, and just got him in the shed, and then it just started developing from there. So he'd made these little demos into what potentially were the future shed project for this album and stuff like that. So we released Living in January 20. Production was terrible. We did it ourselves, but we released it. Got played on local radio and things like that. Then we released One Shot, which was shit as well. The recording of it's shit. But Jack Cullen, who's a middleweight boxer, he's my mate. He come out in February 2020 at the MEN. So we took One Shot. which was an absolute buzz, you know what I mean? And then we released, I think it was, uh, we released another tune, and then we were in June 2020, we released Lucky Number, and that was a bit better on the production side and stuff like that. And we joined Twitter then, and then as soon as we joined Twitter and got into these people, I realized there was a music community out there, you know, like a community just devoted to new music and bands and stuff like that. And I was still stuck in 89, 99, listening to Northside, the Roses, the Charlatans, and that. And then as soon as we joined Twitter and people started getting onto us with Lucky Number, it just opened my eyes to so many new bands. And I'm thinking, wow, this is just a new world to me. So I just started getting into this new music, and that was it then. And like I say, people just started getting on us then. So yeah, it's been a bit of a mad journey, like.
In a
Um,
short space of time as well, really, wasn't it?
yeah, well, it was lockdown as well, and we I was sneaking off to John's shed and we were meeting in secret, but we just kept releasing these tunes. We thought because normally you'd have a band, you'd go do your little gigs first and then start. We did it opposite way around. We did it backwards. So while everyone was sat at home doing nothing, we was releasing these tunes and we were getting better and better at each time. You know, producing it ourselves and getting better and better. And I think we released 5 singles in 2020, and then it got to 2021, and then we got MC Tunes involved with us. I just approached him over social media, and we did a remix of One Shot in February, March, I think. No, March, that was 2021, and he got on us then, and that was it. It was just boom, and ever since it's just grown and grown and grown, and yeah, we had 380 people at our first ever gig. Uh, so yeah, madness. It's crazy. And then we've just gone on from there, and we played London, Glasgow, with Manchester Academy, Bolton, played all over the country, and we've sold most of them out. You know what I mean? Liverpool, just doing it ourselves. So it's been really successful,
Yeah,
and it's been a dream. Uh, but yeah, I'm quite proud that we've done it ourselves. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Without any
definitely.
help.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, yeah. You've had, like you said, you've had a few personal achievements within the band and success, and you had the two albums out. So the first album
Yeah.
is the first album more of a collection of singles than like sat down and wrote the album. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like I say, we did it backwards. We started releasing all these singles, and the production was shit and all that. But people were getting on us, and then we just thought we've got to release an album. We've got to do an album. You know what I mean? So yeah, the first it's a bit mad. Like someone else said that from Louder Than War. It was I think it was Ian Keys. He said your first album is like a selection of greatest hits.
It is a good album. It
Um,
is a really good album.
yeah, yeah. I wish we could do it again and do it proper, but I wanted to keep that first album DIY and raw, just to show people that they can do it. You know what I mean? I wanted that to just because I wanted it all to be a progression of where we come from, and I think if you listen to our back catalogue and then listen to every single single, and it's all better in production, better in lyrics, better in subjects and stuff like that. So I'm quite glad how it works out. And then obviously the second album, what was released last year, uh we've been we the first album was recorded in all sorts of places, and then we eventually got Danny Hayes in, who was in the Jet Assembly. They've just split up. They're a big band from Bolton. But he's got a bedroom studio called the Ivy. So what we did, we got all them tunes. I just tried to get into mix them and master them so they got up to a level, you know what I mean? But we really wanted that first album raw, and just. But yeah, a lot of people said that it's like a collection of singles. But then yeah, the second album is probably well our best work, you know what I mean? I think that sounds like a proper album, if you know what I mean. The second one. But to have two albums on vinyl, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah. They're both brilliant as well. It's not as if like they're just a collection of random singles that are not any good. They are. It's still a good album. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've had a lot of critical acclaim from it. You know what I mean? We've been in albums of the year polls and stuff like that. So we even achieved that. You know what I mean? It's mad. So yeah, I hope in years to come that people will look back and say we're a bit of a cult band. You know what I mean? But yeah, we've got a great following as well. Like I say, that there was 250. We sold 250 tickets on Saturday. You know what I mean? So it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Like you mentioned as well,
They
the
keep
album.
asking.
Oh, what you say, sorry.
They keep asking us not to break up. They keep thinking it's a joke, some of them, but like I say, life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Uh,
But like you say though, you've had the two albums out on vinyl. Them albums are going to be there forever, aren't they? So people are still going to be listening to the band in the
Still
future.
got a bit of thinking. Yeah. I'm like I say, I never thought in my life I'd have my own, I'd hold my own album, you know, because I collect vinyl anyway, and to have your own work in on, in wax there, and you can sit down and play it, and it's an amazing feeling, absolutely amazing. So yeah, like I say, we've achieved a hell of a lot. Um, but like I say, with the industry, it's just if you're not in with certain promoters, um, like this feeling and stuff like that, you're getting nowhere basically because they control probably 95% of all the festival slots for the unsigned bands. You know what I mean? And if you're not in with people like that, you're knackered basically. I think I've had more festival rejections than women in my life. Oh, it's madness, mate. Honestly, it's just lazy. I think it's lazy. Um,
I don't get it. It's like a fan looking from the outside. I don't get why they don't. There's no help for these bands coming up.
like I say, there's a lot of bands get took advantage of. You know what I mean? They're traveling all over the country, traveling from Glasgow to the Isle of Wight for what, 50 quid and a half an hour set. No expenses, no nothing. You know what I mean? And how are these bands supposed to survive? It's all right, we've all got good jobs, you know what I mean? We've all got decent jobs, but still, we've never made a penny doing it, but we're just doing it for a buzz. But can you imagine five like people, kids, 17, 18-year-olds, so right, we're going to do it, we're going to try it as a career, and there's just no money in it whatsoever, you know what I mean?
The thing is, though,
Like I say,
that'll put future bands off, won't it? Up and coming bands.
yeah, I think the state of the scene now, it is. There is a lot of bands. There's a lot of gigs being cancelled. A lot of bands just calling it a day because it's you know what I mean. It's you've got to live at the end of the day, and it's madness. But yeah, I think it will put a lot of kids off, and it's sad because there's a lot of talent out there. There's an awful lot of talent out there,
Yeah.
and I hear it every single day on when these bands release these, and I think, what? Why is that not being heard? And there's thousands of them, and then you see the shite what they put on Glastonbury this weekend. You know what I mean? It's sad, but is it in good hands? The future music, I don't know because, like I say, with the venue thing as well, it's the venues are struggling and the bands are struggling. I think even the bands that you've seen on these big festivals, even they're struggling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To actually make a living out of music, I don't think you can without massive backing, which is sad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What's it like with the music being mainly like digital nowadays? That doesn't help either, does it?
Nah, I I don't know how many streams we've had in total, but I bet we've not even made $2,000. You know what I mean? I think we're up to about 1 million now in total. We must be, or half a mil. So, and you're not even making. It's just impossible. But you've got that many people faking the streams now. You know, you can pay these bots and stuff like that. But like I say, how do you make money? Unless even vinyl now, you know what I mean? It still owes me and Tim 600 quid each, our second album, you know what I mean? It's just impossible to make money, you know. It's madness. So I don't know how these kids are doing it. Because like I say, I've got decent jobs and we've all got decent jobs in our band, but it owes us money. So I don't know. Madness.
Crazy.
Unless you've got major backing from someone like SGM or whatever, or a big label, you've no chance in this game.
No, no.
No chance.
Like you say, it's ruthless, really, isn't it?
Oh, it's a ruthless game. Like I say, I've been around the block, you know what I mean? And I've learned so much in the last 4 years of the music business, like, and I've been handy to have MC Tunes as well because he was a big star in '89, '90. You know what I mean, and on the Manchester scene, and he's been around the block. I think he could have signed a £2 million record contract in '91, '92, and he turned it down, and then he got ripped off again with the Dust Junkies and stuff like that. So having him on board and getting advice off him and stuff like that has been good. But the horror stories he tells me, it's unbelievable, unbelievable.
What were it
But
like
yeah,
working with him, though?
he's a dude. I met him in 1990. I went to school in 1990. I was 14. Some of my mates had just left school and they went to Manchester. And we went watching the Strange Ways riots when they were on. And went to Athlete's Palace. And he'd walked out of he used to bought records, MC Tunes. Like I say, I was 14. And we followed him. And then he gives us a split. He turned around and gives us a split. And I told him that story when I first met him. Like, he just started laughing. Like, but it's mad. In 1990, we did that, and then 30 years later, 30, 31, 32 years later, I'm on stage with him at Manchester Academy, and I've just done a music video with him. It's crazy. It's mad how life comes apart, and now I'm his weed dealer. So it's just a bit mad how life is like that. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but that's music, and I've been fortunate enough to be around music long enough and to meet all my heroes and people like that. You know what I mean? So they're all great people, great guys. Dermo's a top guy
Yeah.
from North. I love him to bits. When I watched him, I think I seen him on Granada Reports in 1991, and I thought, you know what, he dresses like us and they look like us, like with the Mondays and the Roses and all that. And to meet him and be his mate now, it's a bit mad as well. You know what I mean? And just normal guys, you know. But yeah, I've been fortunate enough to meet all my heroes and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, like you say, another personal kind of achievement and accolade, really, isn't it? Working with these people.
Yeah, yeah. It's MC Tune is what I think he's one of the most underrated, talented people in the country. His album and Off Its Heights is timeless, and you know I think people like that should get more credit. And it's the same with like Northside and bands like that, the Spirals and all that. And cultural phenomenon, wasn't it, in 1990 and 89, you know what I mean? And Happy Mondays, I think they should get more credit than they deserve and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good to meet them all and stuff like that through this what we're doing. So yeah.
You mentioned you've been around the block and you've seen a lot growing up and stuff. I know it helped you, like, within the music business, knowing what to do and stuff, but it also helped you songwriting as well, didn't it? Going back to that.
Yeah, like I say, that's all sing about and write about the truth and what I see and what I do. I'm a painter and decorator. I've been for since I left school in '92. That's like 32 years. And my news outlets are meeting different people. I must meet three, four, five, six different people a week. And they can be white people, black people, Asian people, Jewish people. You know, I meet every culture, so them are my news outlet, if you know what I mean. And my head's like a sponge when I'm talking to people, and I just write about what I see, what I do, this, that, and other. So yeah, it has helped me in writing and stuff like that. I wish I'd have done it 25 years ago. You know what I mean? You never know, do you? Uh, but I don't think I could have write about what I'm writing about now 25 years ago. So
Yeah, it's all about experience in it and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, but that's all I do. I just write about the everyday man in the pub, you know what I mean, or the everyday woman in the pub, and or the everyday man or and woman down walking the dog down the street. That's all I am. But I just resonate it into music. But I'm lucky enough to play with great players as well. Tim, Shane, Ollie, who's been in the band, Tim, who's in the band now, and John, uh, who's been my like right hand man in the Shed project. So they're all great players now. They won't tell you the highlight, you know what I mean? But they're amazing, really, really good players. So I have been lucky to be surrounded by them as well. And like the Phoenix Club the other month we had in the Goldfinger and Aziz Ibrahim supporting us. And I've been watching Ian Brown since all his solo career since '98. And I've met Aziz and under countless times along the way. And then another one to have them supporting us at a gig. It's just madness. It's unbelievable. So I'm grateful for things like that, what have happened, and to meet these people. And they're my friends, you know what I mean? Which is even better.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
You mentioned like you write about your experiences and stuff, but how does the songwriting work within the band? Would you write the lyrics first and then take it to the rest of the band?
Yeah, if something nips in my head, I'll write it down. It might be a phrase, it just might be a lyric, and then I'll build it around that. But then sometimes it'll just come all in one. So I'll have a little idea, and then it'll just go bang, and I can write a song in 2 minutes. It's mad. Or I'll go in there, they'll play me a riff or something, and then I'll just write lyrics to it. So I'm pretty gifted like that. I can just write lyrics on the spot. And I think that just comes from life experience as well, you know what I mean? I've got another two albums written here. So,
Really? Yeah.
you know, yeah, yeah. So you never know what's going to be happening in the future. But yeah, I'm pretty good at writing lyrics. Like the RP is Power. That was on a motorway bridge. Someone sprayed it on a motorway bridge coming out of Bolton. And I saw it. I thought, I fear is a power, and COVID were going on as well. And I thought, that's powerful, that. So I went into rehearsal. I said to Ollie, "Have you seen that?" And he went, "Yeah." And then that was it. Within a day, a rehearsal, we had that tune. I fear is a power, just off that phrase on a motorway bridge. So yeah, it's mad how it
It's
comes
crazy how
about.
inspiration can just come like that, isn't it?
I was on the M60 not long ago, and I was stuck in traffic, and something else triggered me. I can't remember what it was. And just wrote a song there, like in traffic with me phone. It's just like, yeah, it's or you'll just see something on telly, or and then someone will just come in and just go, right, I'm gonna be. But I've got into that habit now. As soon as a lyric or just some a phrase comes into my head, I've got a note thing on my finger phone now. So I'll just keep putting these quotes and thinking, and then I'll just keep looking back. If I need something, I'll pinch it there or whatever. But yeah, I find it quite easy uh, writing lyrics.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Speaking of songwriting, like the Sheds songs, they're not just one particular genre. The mixes done it a bit for varies. Um, but I
Yeah,
wanted to talk about like your inspirations because you're canaring some of the songs in your voice and songwriting, like Ian Brown. Do you know what I mean? You could with the
yeah.
song.
Ian Brown's my hero.
Is he like the main
But
inspiration?
no, the main inspiration. He is one of my all-time heroes. You know what I mean? I think Ian Brown's one of the greatest frontmen of all time. You know what I mean? And I respect Ian Brown because he stands by what he says. You know what I mean? And he doesn't give a shit. And if he believes in something, he believes in something, and he won't back down from it. You know what I mean? And he don't take no shit. And I'm a bit like that myself. And yeah, Ian Brown's my main number one hero, but it's like I'm very influenced in that Manchester era. I was that was my era, and some of the lads are as well. But I listen to Northern Soul. I listen to rap music. I listen to Motown. I listen to reggae. I'm pretty diverse in my musical taste, and all the band there as well. So, um, but yeah, it's so I can put me ear to anything if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think Ian Brown, the Stone Roses, Oasis. Charlatan, New Fads, Northside. Like I said, Dermo's a big influence on me. I think that era is like our era, if you know what I mean. But the best thing when we come on the scene and that, I think it was about the fifth song in, the guy from another band, he messaged me and says, um, you can tell it's you now. It's the Shed Project. It's not the Roses. It's not the Mondays. It's the Shed Project. And I think as soon as people hear it's me, they know it's the Shed Project and not the Stone Roses or not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
which we have been compared to, but we've been compared to a lot of bands in the '60s as well. A lot of our tunes have a lot of '60s influence. So yeah, we've got Weekend Millionaire. We do it purposely. You know what I mean? My life's like a Northern Soul song. Um, so yeah, it's we're influenced by anything. I think Tim in the band listens to Cliff Richards. That's just an inside joke, like, but yeah, like I say, heavy metal, even heavy metal stuff like that. And we did a demo called Selfie Queen, and that's got like a Lemmy bass on it, you know what I mean? And it's a piss take out of punk. You might hear that in the future with any other projects we do, like, but yeah, so we can, but it's, but yeah, the Roses, the Mondays, the Charlatans, all that. That's our main influence, I think. That's our core influence. But I'm glad that people can recognise the Shed Project for what they are, and we've made our own sound. So I'm quite proud of that too.
You mentioned you've got a lot of inspirations and the other members of the band do. That helps a band, doesn't it? Having like going between different genres, listen to different music.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like Shane, the drummer. He's a massive dancer. You know what I mean? He's into his rave stuff and he DJs it and stuff like that. And Tim likes his post punk early '80s stuff. And you know John's a bit like me into the Roses, the Mondays, and all that. And Tim as well, the guitar player. He's a bit more rockier as well. He's a bit rocky. So yeah, it's mad. But like I say, my one of my first loves is rap music. I listen to rap music daily, um, and I think that helps me with lyrics a bit because it's from the streets, isn't it? The old hip hop, the old rappers, all they sing about now is fucking money and bitches and all that, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But back in the day, they was singing about what was going on the street. You know what I mean? Dealing, crack dealing, and all that's what they were doing, and it's what I see every day, you know what I mean? And where I come from and what I've been brought up with. So yeah, I think Public Enemy, Easy E, all the rappers, man, love them. Dr. Dre, Snoop, Tupac, Biggie, unbelievable.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I've just started getting into like hip hop a bit. It's a good genre, isn't it?
oh, I love it. I love it. I love the old school stuff. It's really, really good. The old hip hop. But I was brought up on that. Like when I was 8 in 1984 when Breakdance the movie came out, and we used to knock about with cardboard and lino and in the street and that, and it was mad. It was good day. Because I always hung about with lads older than me. You know what I mean? 4 or 5 years older than me. So I was pretty streetwise pretty early on. But I think that put me in good stead later on in life,
Yeah,
looking after myself. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I wanted to speak about Our Fear Is Their Power, the album, because at the start, the first track, If You Know, You Know, there's a few different snippets of songs from the first album. Why was
Yeah.
that? Was that like to say that was then and this is now kind of?
That was then. That was then. This is now. You know what I mean? That's the DIY. This is the progression. And if you know, he knows about COVID. Um, I was watching Boris Johnson on TV with all his bullshit every single day. You know what I mean? You've been sharing stories, you've been sharing dreams, you've been sharing pictures of what it means. That just come into my head straight away, and I thought they're fucking bullshitting us. You know what I mean? It's all a lot of bollocks. My opinion again. You know what I mean? And it just come in my head. If you know, you know. You know what I mean? You've been telling tales of the places where you've been sharing pictures. So. and that just come in my head straight away. So if you know, you know about COVID, um, and then it goes into Weekend Millionaire. I think, yeah, is that number two, Weekend Millionaire? No, Easy's number two.
Yeah, I think that's third
Um,
or fourth in it, Weekend Millionaire.
yeah, Easy's. I wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Easy's number two. Easy's about when my brother was in trouble with smack with heroin. There was people going around my mum's house, so they got warm. So it's a bit of a dark personal song. Easy. Man, you're out of line. Don't you come round to mine? So yeah, it's a bit dark. I think the third one's crowd. Is it crowd pleaser? Yeah,
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
crowd pleaser. Crowd pleaser is about. It's like Tears of a Clown. Crowd pleaser. Um, it's like being happy. It's about mental health. It's about being happy in front of everybody. You know what I mean? And then when you get behind your closed doors, it comes out and stuff like that. Being lonely and you know what I mean. You can be the face in the crowd, the clown, and then behind closed doors, you've got all these problems. They don't go away. So that was the crowd, please. I might have wrote it about myself. You know what I mean? When I've been in bad times and stuff, but. Yeah, Weekend Millionaires about that's like a 60s song. I wanted to keep that as a 60s song, and a lot of small faces influence on that one. There's a pub in Bolton called Fanny's and a pub called the Crofters. I'm an old sawdust on the floor kind of drinking bitter and mild. I was brought up in them pubs, you know, the shitholes. So it's about these people who sit there with a prosecco and the fake Rolex on and stuff like that, thinking they're better than other people. So yeah, Weekend Millionaire. Uh, I should have got the track list in front of me. I forgot it. uh, Weekend Millionaire. Oh, Excuses. That's an acoustic track, track five. That's about my brother being on heroin. Um, he's battled with it for 12 years now. Um, and you never know if they're on it or off it, and because they're good at hiding it. So that was a message for me to my brother. You know what I mean? Excuses. And then obviously our fear, which I've explained about, that come about. But that's about bullshit as well. With like you've seen over the last whatever years with Brexit, with this, with that, and whoever you vote in, they're all dickheads, aren't they? You know what I mean? The country's not going to get any better. So that basically our fear is their power. Um, with the media and all that, I think it's just everything's just you don't know what to believe these days, do you? You know what I mean? Uh, and I've never trust a politician. So yeah, Ghost Town is about Bolton being a shithole. Another political song. Over the last 20 years, it's just become a dump. And it's not just my town; it's towns up and down the country. Everyone you speak to, there's shops shut. It's you know when you seen it 15, 20 years ago, it was booming, and it's just they took all the business out of town centres into all these retail parks out of town, and there's just no soul left in towns. There's only money being pumped into Manchester and the big cities. You know what I mean? You don't and towns like Bolton, Leigh, Wigan, Burnley, you know, northwest towns, they, they're in poverty. You know what I mean? And yeah, so Ghost Town's about that. Another political one. Um, what's next? Ghost Town. You know,
Should I
I
get it up?
remember.
I can't remember. Let's have a look.
Oh, that's after Ghost Town. I've not listened. I listened to it last week for the first time in ages. Actually, I thought, fuck yeah, it's not bad that.
Lower than a snake.
Oh, Lower Than a Snake. Yeah, it's got a reggae element in that. But that was about a promoter what let us down. We booked the gigs with a promoter. It was a week before the gigs, and he'd not even booked the venues.
Gee.
So we were selling tickets on a load of gigs, what hadn't even been fucking booked. So that song's about a certain promoter in the music business. Like it was old. He's held his hand up since, you know what I mean, and he's apologised. But I just thought, fuck yeah, I'll write a song about it instead, so it's there for life. You know what I mean? But it is basically about the music industry, low mistake. Um, Naughty is A to Z of drugs. How to take them, how to use them, how not to use them, and stuff like that. That's just about my days of being at raves and places like that, and going out and taking drugs most of my life, and in taking them in moderation and not abusing them, which I'm not condoning, kids. Uh, but yeah, that's just another honest song about everyday weekend things. And then I've got the blues, which is I lost two of my friends. My mate Swede, Wesley Sharp, he shot himself in the head. Um, it would have been what was it, 12 years ago, something like that now. We don't know what went on and what have you, but he was a really good mate of mine. He was only 21. Um, and then my mate Rex, who wrote a day in the Dam about, he was like my partner in Amsterdam and stuff like that. We used to go away all the time, and they found him well, it's 2 years, I think, this month. So, but they were best mates too, as well. The two lads were my best mates, but they were best mates. So it's just a bit mad. So I've done that as a tribute to them, and I think it's probably the best song I've ever written. That I've got the blues, in my humble opinion. But yeah, I've done that as a tribute to them, and like I say, on the back of I've got the blues when I released that, I had people ringing me up saying, "Well, yeah, it's just miss a death," with tears and stuff. It's not only resonated with my backstory of that song, it's resonated with their own personal stories. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a run through of the Clapton album, mate.
Yeah, try, well, try. It's a brilliant
Yeah,
album, though. So if there's anybody watching that hasn't heard it, listen to that and listen to the
yeah,
first one.
nice one. Yeah, I'd love to get hold of the first one again and redo it. I'd love to do it properly, you know what I mean? And but I love it how it is, how raw it is. So maybe one day we'll go back to it and reissue it
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? Uh, on the reunion.
I know it's pretty soon after, like you only played your farewell gig on Saturday, but have you got any plans? Like you said, you got two albums written. Have you got any plans?
I've got loads. Yeah, there has been talk of things, but it's just like when you've. I've been doing it now for. Well, we've been out in the public for 4.5 years, but there was a good 16 month behind the scenes on that, writing these songs and trying to craft songs. So it's been like what, 5 years, 6 years. It's took over my life for 6 years. You know what I mean? As well as my job and my personal life, because I work for myself as well. So it's it's been a passion, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I've loved it. I've loved every minute of it. I've made so many friends, met so many people. Like I say, we played places I never even thought I'd play. So yeah, it does consume a lot of your life. So it would be nice to just sit back for 6 months and just say, right, what's next? You know what I mean? I'm definitely would. I'm personally definitely going to do something anyway. Um, so yeah, there will be something coming off the back of this. It's not seen the last of me at this industry. I've got too much to say. Too much to say. But the new batch of songs I've wrote are same again. You know what I mean? Politics, just life in general, love, hate, and then just really personal stuff. But I think the quality of the lyrics now are getting better and better. So who knows in the future? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
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 yeah. It was quite emotional. Like I say, I woke up Saturday morning. I thought, bloody hell, it just hits you that's gonna your last gig. You know what I mean? And it was emotional. It was really emotional. And I never drink me on stage. I never have a drink. I'll have one normally before I go on, and I think I were up to my eighth pint then when I got on stage. Like, oh, bollocks! It's the last one. You know what I mean? Let's enjoy it, and we did, and it was amazing. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. A good way to go out, kind of.
Yeah, we went out with a bang, so to say. You know what I mean? There's people come from Glasgow, there's people come from Stoke, people come from Birmingham, people come from Wales, London. You know what I mean? So it's a nationwide thing. You know, and for people to do that is it's just absolutely mind blowing. You know what I mean? For just a couple of working class lads from Bolton, it's just doing this for a laugh. You know what I mean? But when you've got people following you all around the country from other places, there's a couple from Leeds, Tara and Buzzer, and they followed us everywhere. They followed us absolutely everywhere, and it's like, wow, you know what I mean? These are just two people who we've met doing this thing, and it's just crazy the amount of people we've met. And like I said, the Twitter community, the music community on Twitter, it's unbelievable. The way they out bands and like Michael Tanner, Eddie Anson, and Skyler Sam, and there's a massive group of them, and it's just a great community to be in. I'd advise any new band to get on Twitter and get in with these people. You know what I mean? Because they do help you. It helps a lot. These people, and word of mouth, I think, is always the best way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like you say, it's who you know as well, isn't it?
it's all about who you know, mate. It's all about who you know. It's like you a lot of bands now have been manufactured before they release anything. You know what I mean? It's all
Yeah,
planned out. It's I won't name names because I'm not a grass, but it's like they've already got an audience before they've released anything. You know what I mean? And they haven't grafted it. And like I say, you've got little young kids like Marseille grafting all over the country and who deserve it. You know,
yeah,
really deserve it. And then you've got other kids who are just coming in and these manufactured bands, last dinner party, and fucking. You can tell they've got a load of money behind them. You know what I mean? And you can't to be successful in this game. It's you've got to do it full time, and you've got to have something behind you because you just can't do it off your own back. It's just it's you, you know what I mean. It's we've got to a certain point. You know what I mean? But it's just getting past that point, and that's when you've got to know people or have the financial clout. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, It's like a lot of the radio stations as well. BBC introduced them. We've never been playing off them. You know what I mean? And John Kennedy's only ever played us once. I think he played Feel My Love 3 years ago when it was released. And it's always sending him songs, you know what I mean? And everyone around us is getting played. Everybody around us is getting played on his show. And I saw a message to him and I said, "What's the crack, mate? What have you got against us? Oh, I've not, you've nothing against you." And I'm thinking, well, you're playing. It's just bullshit, mate. Absolute bullshit again. Um, but it's ironic because one of our songs, the One Shot remix, is going to be on a major BBC television series coming up. We've signed a contract for it. So
really.
it's ironic that BBC introduced. We can't go on Six Music or anything like that, but we can get on a major BBC show. So that's coming up in September. I can't say which one because I'll get my ass kicked, but it's a new BBC show that's coming out in September. Um, But yeah, it's pretty ironic that we can't even get played on BBC Introduced it, but we can get on a major BBC Two show. But yeah, that's just the nature of the business, you know what I mean? But I do think we're radio friendly, but my lyrics might not be, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's what I was
Just,
suggesting because, like, you don't see it nowadays, really.
yeah, I
Bands
get
talking
you.
about problems. You know what I mean? You don't hear it now.
There's not many, is there? There's not many, I don't think. Like I say, I speak my mind, and if I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up, you know what I mean? But I think that's why a lot of people got on us because we're honest and we're just normal working class people.
It's like anything,
Uh,
though. Some people agree, some people won't. Some people like it, some
yeah,
people.
like I said, it's like all the bollocks. Like if someone comes out with an opinion on social media, you know what I mean? It just get bang, bang, bang. It's just fucking madness. What's good? If you don't like it, don't comment. I'll just agree to disagree. But it's just madness. It's fucking the world's mad, isn't it? When you when
Yeah,
you when
it's
you're late.
crazy.
It's oh man, I, See, I remember a world without internet and mobile phones and all that, and it was so much easier and so better. Trust me, it was a lot better then than it is now.
I can
Um,
imagine.
I know, yeah.
But yeah,
I've wrote a song about that before.
why what's all
Called,
that?
I've wrote, it's called Bygone Times, and that's a song. It's a bit like my life, but it's a song about like the technology and stuff like that, and how much things were then and how much they are now and stuff like that. So yeah, that's another song I wrote called Bygone Times, which will be out in a future life, not the Shed Project.
Well, like you say, we need to support these smaller bands. So, what bands are you into now? What new bands?
Like I said, I speak about Marseille a lot. I love them to. I just think for 18-year-old lads to sing music like Stone Roses in it, like but like a modern
Yeah,
Stone Roses, it's unbelievable.
yeah,
I love the Heading North. I don't think they get the credit they deserve. Skylights, we supported them last year in November. I think they're going to be calling it a day soon because they've not had the opportunities. They're selling venues at 1,000 caps, you know what I mean? Over 1,000 people, and they still can't get on the festivals and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just madness. Um, yeah, so the Skylights. I love Box of Trash. They supported us. They're from Scotland, Box of Trash. They supported us last year in Glasgow. They're good. Hazy James are decent. Uh, there's loads, man. There's absolutely loads. Three Little Wolves. Jay Tennant is a really talented guy as well. Solo artist who I really love. Um, Pastel. I think they're going to be the next one what might do something, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
like I said earlier, you're not seeing many breaking through to these next stages, you know what I mean? There should be more. There should be a lot more.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but yeah, there's loads, man. I hear it every single week, this music what comes out, and I just think I'm just blown away by it. And if I'm hearing it, why are these, well, all they're asked about is money in it, the big wigs.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but yeah, there's loads, man. There's loads.
Well, Roy,
It's an, it's, a,
oh,
sorry, it's a really exciting scene though. It's good. Guitar music is far from dead. You know what I mean? There's some amazing bands and artists.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, we're just not hearing it, aren't we? If you go to a gig and you'll see a good support band of that, but we're not hearing it like mainstream.
Nah, there should be. I think shows like Radio. Yeah, they've got John Kennedy on for 2 hours on a fucking late on a Friday and Saturday night. Why not give him 2 hours in the daytime and play just new music? What harm's that going to do? People are still going to listen. You know what I mean? Same with Six Music. Have an unsigned hour every day or whatever. You know what I mean? Get these people out there. Jim
Like,
Salverson does a lot.
I was going to say, like, I know that Shine the Sam you mentioned, and she does promote it well, and they do better work than some of the radio stations are doing.
Yeah, of course, yeah, like I say. But with radio stations, you've got to think about it. It's all money again. You know what I mean? You've got pluggers who are giving these people money to play their tunes. You know what I mean? And if you've no money in this game, you're knackered. It's simple as. So I think a lot of it behind the scenes boils down to money and who you know. I think that's the world, isn't it? The world's like
Yeah, yeah,
that. Yeah, I just hope a lot of these new bands don't get lost in the mix again. You know what I mean? And I hope a few come through and people start realizing. You know what I mean? There is more to life than these bands you're hearing on the radio. You know what I mean? There's a whole network of unsigned amazing music. With some girls at Sylvie from Scotland and Jen Dixon from Newcastle. They're just amazing women voices, you know what I mean? And they need to be heard. And I think if they're getting frustrated as well, you know what I mean? And it's just a shit fucking industry, mate. As simple as.
yeah. It's a shame as well.
Yeah, it is, man. But yeah. But we've had a good run, like I say, and we've had a buzz and enjoyed it. And like I say, you've not seen the last of me yet, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, well,
Can
thank
I
you.
can I just say as well, I absolutely love your show. You know that anyway. I've commented on your show, and I watch it every week, and I just think you're doing really well. And it's people like you who can get these young bands and artists out. You know what I mean? And every credit to what you're doing, mate. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And yeah, you have supported the podcast for a while now,
Yeah,
really. So.
yeah, and the guests you're getting on as well is unbelievable. You know what I mean? So keep it up, man. And now you've got a shed on. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
man.
you
But
for that.
yeah, keep up the good work, mate. You're
Yeah,
all right, pal. Nice one.
cheers, and I hope to hear more music soon from you.
I'll keep you updated, mate. Like I said, if you need anything, if you need any contacts, what I've got, just let me know. And if there's anyone you want to interview and I can put you through to, just let me know, man.
Nice one for that. Yeah, cheers. Yeah. All right then. Yeah,
All right,
nice one.
brother.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
Nice one.
See you in a
See you
bit.
later, pal.
See you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.